Hello and welcome to Ngwasheng Maths Online Academy. My name is Desmond Ngwasheng. I'm your tutor for this channel. We are doing ratios. I'm going to do ratios and percentage as a follow-up video for the grade 8 and 9s. I did a video based on number pattern. If you didn't check that, go and check on it. Now, the ratios, this what you see is for examination. We can teach you a whole lot of things, but there are some things which are strictly meant for examination purposes. Just like ratios. Ratio can be written in a form of 1:2, but it can also be written in a form of 1/2 as a fraction. Both of them, they still represent what the ratio is. So don't be surprised if they are talking ratios, but it is written in a form of a proper fraction, 1/2. They are still referring to 1:2. So both of them, they are the same. They represent ratios. Now, what is happening with ratios mostly? They'll just ask you to simplify them. Simplify. If you can see, this ratio is already simplified. But if I say to you, 5:20, and then I say, put this in simplest form, I want you to find the highest common factor between 5 and 20 and simplify. Use that highest common factor to simplify. By the look of things, I can use 5. So I can say 5 into 5, 5 into 20. What is the result of 5 into 5? That's 1 is 2. 5 into 20, 5, 10, 15, 20. That's 4. So now you can tell that 1:4 is the simplest form of 5:20. Now, the whole thing here, everything that you see here, we're going to apply the same thing. If you didn't subscribe, make sure you subscribe, because this channel is not only for grade 12 only. This is for grade 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 channel, where we are going to do maths lesson based on different topic, but try to accommodate the ATP that you'll be provided at school, annual teaching plan. Like what is going to be in term 1, we have to cover everything under term 1. Once we are done with term 1, we are going to term 2 and also do the revision of the past paper. Now let's move on. After I just explain a little bit of what is happening here, what is it that you need to expect, let's check all these problems and be able to differentiate them. When you look at this one, it's just 18:66. It's the same thing that we did here. You have to look for a number that can fit into 18 as well as into 66, but we are referring to the highest common factor. Use it to reduce these numbers. Here, if you can check the difference between this one and that, here there are no SI unit. One will ask, what is SI unit? Like the moment you're talking distance, you have to indicate things like kilometer, meters. If you are referring to time, we have to use things like hours, minutes. So those are the SI unit. Now here there's no SI unit, but here there is. 75 meter is to 125 meter. This one is plain. If you check, there's no SI unit. It's just a number like this one. But look at how this ratio has been presented. It tells us that, like I said here, a ratio can be presented in a form of a proper fraction. This is what we have here. Or it can be like, so don't be surprised when you see a ratio of this nature. We know it's the same thing as that. I can rewrite this in this form. Coming to D, 1 meter is to 40 centimeter. Now the challenge starts here. The moment the SI units are not the same, it's your duty as a learner to convert one of them so that they can all be the same. It's up to you whether you want to change a meter into centimeter or centimeter into meter. The choice is yours. Same applies to this one. 40 kg is to 480 gram. So this is kilogram, this is gram. They are not the same. So it's up to you whether you want to change kg into grams or grams into kg. That's up to you. Now this is just additional of ratios. When now they ask you to increase 240 in a ratio of 7:5. We're going to explain that. So if you check, the only challenge might be these two. But once you know how to convert this, then everything is super. Now let's check here. 18 is to 66. From where you are, you can look for the number that can goes into the highest common factor. Remember, there was a topic based on the highest common factor, lowest common multiple, all those things. Now, it is applicable here. If you can search what is the number that can fit into 18 and 66, basically the highest common factor between these two numbers, it will be 6. So I'm going to use 6 to divide everything. Remember, I'm trying to simplify, make it look more simpler. So now 6 into 18 goes 3 times. Into 66, that will be 11. This is what they are looking for. We managed to make 18 is to 66 in its simplest form, which became 3 is to 11. Now, with the same mentality, everything will be applied in the same manner. Now, let's check this one of 75. Avoid to use a number that is not the highest common factor because it's going to force you to keep on simplifying. But once you can figure out what is the highest common factor, you do it once and then that's it. Why do I say that? Example, let's say I have a 10 here. Sorry, let me put, I have a 16 and a 20. And then there's a learner who's very much aware of what is it that is expected. The learner decided to use 2. What does it mean this to us? It's like we are now going to have 8 is to 10. You realize that because of you use 2, you are still forced to figure out again. You have to simplify it further, which is why it's important to find what? The highest common factor. Now, for instance, if I find the highest common factor, which is definitely is 4, so I divide by 4. You will see that 4 into 16, 4, 8, 12, 16. That is a 4. But 4 into 20, that is a 5. Straight to the point, I don't have to simplify this further because I used highest common factor. I think that is clear now. Okay, now let's proceed with, obviously you can pause the video, try to work out some more problems to follow. Don't wait for me to provide solution without you trying first. Make sure you try before. Now, we've got 75. 75 cannot fit into 125. And if I use 5 into 75 and 125, I feel like I'm still going to further simplify it. So I just want to simplify it once and for all. Again, find out what is the highest common factor. Find factors of 75 and 125 and then be able to select the one which is the highest and use it. So in this case, I can use 25, both sides. Remember, they are both in meters, so I don't have to convert anything. Now, 25 into 75 goes, that will be 3 times. Yes, 3 times. But 25 into 125. Remember, 25 into 100, 4 times. Then there's extra 25, that's 5 times. You see now? It is simplified. Everything we do here. All right, now, what about C? Like I said, a ratio can be presented in this manner. Let's change it and put it in a way that we are used to. That will be 35 is to 210. I put it in this form first. Again, let's check. Can 35 go into 35? Yes, once. Can 35 go into 210? I'm not sure. So we can work on that. Let me see my calculator there. Because for me, it's just to save time as I'm recording. Yeah, okay, allows. Now, as I'm recording, I have to be faster so I don't make a long video. So I'm gonna use, I tested 35 goes into 35 and 35 also goes into 210. 35 into 35 once, but 35 into 210 goes 6 times. Now that's it. Now let's check what about this one. 1 meter is to 40 centimeter. Conversion here, it applies. They know definitely that you have to come to a point whereby you need to convert. These two need conversion. So let's remind ourselves. 1 meter is equivalent to 100 centimeter. And because of we already have that, again, 1 kg is equivalent to 1,000 gram. So we're going to use these two for that. So now it's up to you whether you want to make um, a meter into becoming a centimeter or vice versa. The choice is yours. It's up to you as to which one you prefer most. So in this case, I would prefer to make centimeter both sides. That means where I see 100 meter, I'll put 100. So from here, I'll start by saying 1 meter will be 100 centimeter is to 40 centimeter. Now, this is an achievement. You cannot simplify if they are not the same. Now we can see we've got centimeter, centimeter. Now I can simplify. Look for the number that can fit into both 100 and as well as 40. Can we use 10? If we use 10, it will be 4 that side. This side will be 1. No, okay. Let's simplify that. Okay. If we use, let me simplify by using 20. This is why I always say make sure you use the highest common factor. Now 20 into 100 goes 5 times, but 20 into 40 goes 2 times. So it is simplified. All right. Make sure you pause the video and work on the problems to follow. Comment if you need clarity. Comment on the section below and make sure you like the video, you share. All right, now let's come to the next one. I'm gonna change this into grams, so it means I'm gonna multiply by 1,000. If I want to convert from this side to that side, we divide. To another side, we multiply. So I'm gonna multiply 4 kg by 1,000 grams so that I can have grams both sides. So it's going to be 40,000 gram is to 480 grams. Yo, my space is not enough. All right, now in this case, again, simplify this. Just give us the answer. What is it that we can use to simplify this? All right. I know if I ignore the zero, like consider this as 48, that could be 16 into 48. That could be 3 times. So I can use 160. Now divide by 160 both sides. Now let's punch that and get the answer on the calculator. So it gives me 250 is to 3. Yes, that is the final answer for E. Now let's come to the last one. I don't have enough space. I'm not sure if I keep writing, will it appear? No, looking at the space, it don't appear. So I'm forced to move it somewhere else. All right, now that we're done with the conversion, let me clear this space. Let me clear this space here. Sorry about that. Let me clear the space. So I can now write this one here. They say increase. The key word is to increase. Increase 240 in a ratio of. Now, basically, we have to make this to be more, but they don't tell you, like, okay, make this more with extra 20, 30, but instead they're using the ratio of 7:5. So, basically, 240 we multiply with 7/5. Then it should give you the answer. When they say increase, we put the bigger one on top and then the smaller one at the bottom. Vice versa, even if they want you to increase, you're going to put the smaller one on top. So now you just work on this. You can punch a calculator for that as well. Remember, we are saving time, so we don't find ourselves having a video that is too long. All right, let me see. 240 times 7, also divide by 5. So 240 will now become 336. And here you can tell, if you are wrong, you will see. Since they say increase, I'm expecting the answer to be more than what I have initially. So yeah, that's how we do it. Now let's move to percentage. Percentage, we all know. When they're talking percentage, think of 100. Mostly, that is 100. So now, what is 10% of 500? A way to calculate this is where we're going to say 10 over 100. Because bear in mind, when a learner achieved 70% in exam, we say you got 70% out of 100. So this is a conversion of just saying 10% is actually 10 over 100 of, let's multiply by 500. Then you can just write the final answer. Now, because I don't have a calculator, I'll use the cancellation since, because somebody can say 10 times 500, you're going to have 5,000. 5,000 divided by 100. So cancellation, basically, I can say this cancel that, and 10 cancel 10. So you only left with 1 times 50. So that means it will be 50 rand. However, another method, like here, you can say 10 times 500, it will now become a 5,000 over 100. That is alternative method. For those who prefer to say 10 times 500 all over 100, you're going to get something off. Like if you say numerator times numerator, but you still have to force to say now, when I cancel, I still have to, that's 50. Now this applies the same thing. You just have to find out what is the 20% of this amount. Then whatever you get, you can now top up, you can add on top of this initial amount. Remember, it's a grade 8 and 9. We don't necessarily have to use calculator yet. So manually, so we're going to say, and when they say increase, it means after getting the 20%, we're going to add it back to this amount. So it will be, can say 20 over 100. Just like we said here, every time we're talking percentage, whatever that is given is over 100 times 40,000. I don't have a calculator. I rely on cancellation. 10 cancel 10. Another 0 cancel another 0. So now I no longer have a 40,000. I've got a 4,000. So 2 times 4, that's 8. Then those 3 zeros. So you see now what it means. 20% of 40,000 is 8,000. We haven't answered the question. They want to increase this amount by 20%. Now we know what is 20% of 40,000, which is 8,000. So the final answer, let me bring it here. The final answer, I will say now, 40,000 increased by 8,000, which now give us 48,000 as our answer. The weight increase, we add. So now we didn't know how much are we adding. We just knew that we are adding a percentage of 20, which tend to be 8%. Now, same applies to this one. This C and A actually are the same. So 12, this is like 12 and a half basically. So we just say 12,5 divided by 100 times this amount. Right? Now, obviously, now we have to say 12,5 times 358 divided by 10. So in this case, I can just punch a calculator for that. We have what? 12,5 multiplied by 358 is equals to this amount divided by 10. So I'm getting 447. Now I'm getting a 447,5. Now that is 12,5% of 3,580. So lesson it end here. Look out for more. I'll create a playlist for grades 8 and 9. Since grade 8 and 9 syllabus is the same, make sure you subscribe so you can be able to watch more videos to follow, and hit the notification bell to be notified every time we upload a video. I thank you for watching.